Hi guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another account review in Summoners War. We have a fellow Wedgeat owner here, a global account proximity that wants a generic review on where he needs to permafarm, starting now depending on my review, and also some insight regarding arena defense and RTA. The three LD5s you see on the screen are all of his LD5s. He has a very similar pull as I do, Wedgeat, Alexandra being the same, and he has the light cookie, which I don't have. Now, Wedgeat and Alexandra both have a particular use in RTA. Wedgeat is just a very strong first pick even now, and Alexandra could be a very strong counter pick, although I had struggles or difficulty drafting her myself. I've heard from Guardian players that she is good in scenarios that I can't pinpoint myself. I think definitely on the RTA side, I could give him some recommendation, some advice, because I have figured out a playstyle that I'm seeing success in and see if he can apply it to his box. For arena defense, we'll just have to see the box in the entirety. Record-wise, Proximity has C2 everywhere, other than the fact that he's in the G1 guild. He's not even a guild right now, no guild join. Maybe he's not playing as actively as before. However, I have to say he's missing out in a lot of resources every month that you do not play the game. And it looks like he's not running a whole lot of stuff. Is it a reset? Doesn't look like it. Interesting. I get why you're farming this. I think this one gives you the despair gems. This one gives you the violent gems. And then obviously the grinds. And he was more of a giants and dragon farmer. Well, it looks like he's also farming artifacts. Okay, he has a lot of nat 5s. He doesn't have Nora, which is huge actually for one of the more universal defenses that we like to run in arena defense, the Vanessa, Camilla, Nora, Windy. But because he doesn't have that, we have to scrape that and instead go something else. But with a box so big, I think you have a lot of options. I think right now the Vanessa variances are just strong in general. Vanessa, Camilla. You are just naturally able to gain more turns due to the speed lead, and the passes of certain units makes it pretty annoying, making it a good stallish defense. I think I'll still go with the Vanessa Camilla route. Now you just need a decent stripper. Usually is the Nora. I guess you could even use Sekhmet. Do you have Sekhmet? You could use Sekhmet. I have seen these traps Sekhmet being really fast with Vanessa. She could reset win units that people bring in. The typical arena offenses, right? Maybe for bomber teams, it could be like a Sierra, obviously the Tianas, let's say Punkbacks. Those will all be a target of Sekhmet's reset if she uses it, right? Later in the rush, usually, if you're running a tanky defense, I do see it being targeted more. So it's a little weaker, in my opinion. It's safer to bet that the opponents have slower runes than you, so they can't cleave it really quickly, rather than, going slow, because at that point, everybody with the Tiana could hit you. You have Sonya. Okay, do you have Jameer? Jameer, okay. Sonya, Jameer, Bastet. Okay, that's cool. Actually, we have to look at water, because we just looked at fire. You do have the water cookie. You can actually add water cookie in your box as well. Vanessa, Camilla, water cookie +1, which could be the Sekhmet. And then you can switch off the last unit, probably either the water cookie or Sekhmet with Windy for the last 15 minutes. Looks like you have a lot of nat 5. You're just missing a couple. Brad, Chandra is pretty strong in this meta in RTA. If you've seen Sean B videos, I think he showcased some of the strength of Chandra and Charlotte, which I do think you have. Well, did you have Cassandra? Oh, you don't have Cassandra, so you have to kind of work with Kali or another one-shot unit. Okay, but you have Sagar. I like that. I just love Sagar right now. I think it's a strong unit, although the base speed is pretty bad. Sagar and Hagang are kind of my most picked regular element unit in RTA paired with the Wedgeat. Hagang is good against Moors. There's a lot of Moor first picks, so I think Hagang is a very good counter pick early on. And then Sagar is just a good counter pick against Shizukas and any very aggressive control unit that are not contesting first turn, I guess. If your Wedgeat goes through, then there's a very good chance your Sagar can move. You also have Christina, you have Leo, okay, Tiana. Yeah, I think your box is gifted. I mean, I don't know how much money you spent in the game, but you definitely have a big box which allows you to play any kind of game, which only is now determined by your rune quality. Ariana, I think it's a pretty cool unit. I don't see it much. Again, it's more of a just pure on support unit. Reason why I think it's not as popular. I have lost to it once because this is pretty annoying, right? It revives, it resets their cooldown. But I definitely think you'll have to find somebody that uses the unit and see how they play with it. Let's take a look at intangible first. Whoa. Now, I would definitely put a HP percent gem over that crit damage. If you put an attack percent gem, it's going to be just fully damage dealer, I believe. I think HP percent is more universal. And a rune like this definitely looks like a rune that you'll give the gem. Sad that the crit rate is low and crit damage is higher. However, the crit rate is more universal. It'll have more use. Crit damage is a lost cause if it's not paired with crit rate. And sadly, there's just too many units that won't build on crit rate, right? And this being an intangible rune, because it could replace any rune set, it is so, how do you put it? It's so, I don't know, just say universal again. It can be used in any unit. Reason why I think making it the most universal rune is the better choice rather than making it a specific rune that plays a certain role. And if you give attack percent, it'll just be a damage dealer rune. But if you give it HP percent, it could still go on a damage dealer, but it could go on a support, it could go on a fast control. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, that's also pretty fat rune. Damage dealer rune right there. I like that. Swift. Okay, that's decently fast. Not bad. Okay, I just see that you're missing some gems and grinds. So R5 would be my priority. Just seeing a couple runes here and there. That's an awesome rune. For a 5-star rune, I will still grind everything. I'll grind this for defense percentage, and it's a solid rune right there. Yeah, you're missing like 11% or 12% from the main stat, but you can make that up with other runes. So you definitely have a set that's decently fast. Maybe a set or two. Let's take a look at the spare. Okay. Yeah, a couple over 20s. Slot 4 is a little weak. Slot 5 is decent. Slot 6 has a rune that's fast. Okay, let's take a look at Violent. Okay. Again, the common thing that we see is that you're lacking grinds and gems. But the rune quality itself looks decent. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be farming these dungeons. It looks like there are certain slots that are weaker than the other. So if you want to find improvement, you could definitely continue on a certain dungeon and farm for a certain rune, trying to get an improvement. But with this rune quality, I think you could get C3. In RTA, okay, will also a good amount of runes over 20. Ooh, my goodness, that's a beautiful rune. I really wonder what this stat was. Because I don't know if this is the gem that I went with. I probably would have gotten written of crit damage for attack percentage. If this was an HP flat, a defense flat, even a attack flat, I think I would have kept it. But that's just me. I could be wrong. That's how I play it, guys. For gemming, for creating runes, do what you want to do. But that's just me. If this was resistance, okay. Yeah, I think you got rid of the right thing. Oh, that's a very fast rune too, 29. Again, I'm going to emphasize this. I think C3 is pretty easy with your rune quality, especially because you have Wedge at 2. It's just so good. And I'll tell you the type of team I'll go with because I'm just seeing a lot of success with it. Let's take a look at his AD right now. Okay, he's not running anything. If I had to run something, like I said, it would be the Vanessa Camilla stuff. I don't know how effective it is, but I have seen people run the Sackmith in their AD. Now, is it good? Well, that person that ran it said it was good, and people didn't hit as much because there was that speed threat. You could hope for the derp, but if it doesn't derp, then it could prolong the game by so much because a certain unit doesn't get to move, and imagine if that's a damage dealer. So I think I'll run something like this. I mean, it looks like an RTA draft, doesn't it? What the one would be could be something like this. It could also be another fire unit, probably like Juno if you want to overall strip. Or if you want to start going, just stall right now, Windy is one. And also you could go the Yeonhwa, because Yeonhwa is pretty annoying too in defense, especially against cleaves. And paired with Camilla, I think the stall is pretty strong. But it looks like you don't have Yeonhwa built, so if you want to do that, you have to build it. But you have other options as well. I wonder how this unit will do. You have to be on 100 res on Nemesis. Double Nemesis will. It could be annoying because of this and the heal as well. So I'll go something like that for your AO. Yes, this is what I'll run 24/7, but the builds look kind of crap. Your Rune probably could do better. This is crap too. Where's the double will? You can't use the second turn Leo team without double will, especially if you don't have 100 rest. Like if you have 100 rest, maybe you could wing it, you know, if you believe in resistance that much. But there's a reason why people put will, even on units on 100 rest. And Leo, I think, is one that you need double will on. For a Leo team, once the Leo dies, the team is a goner. 100 rest, okay, decent accuracy. And then this one, okay, I want this on 100 rest too, especially if you're going a build like this, because come on, you should be able to find a build where you could get the 85 accuracy plus the 100 rest. If you're going shield, will, and like a energy set. And you're running a Tiana team, yes. Now let's look at this one. Okay, Tiana, not crazy fast, which is fine. It doesn't have to be crazy fast. Your Galleon is a 5-star, make it a 6-star, please. Not scaled up, don't use it. It has to be scaled up, come on. This skill up here gives you more accuracy. It goes up by 25% or something like that, or 15%, I forgot. But you need that skill up. If you don't, then you're missing half of your defense break. Yes, it says 85%, but there's the aspect of resistance, and then there's that 15% that it doesn't land. You're not going to get half of your defense break. Trust me. And then your Zeros not... Okay, so you're not even using this offense. But you should. You should, because this one I do still use. Go to RTA. So you have a 56% win rate. Okay, that's a very good win rate. You continue playing. You should have continued playing to climb. But if you want to end C2, I guess it really doesn't matter. It looked like when you played the most, you played 800 games and won half of it. You have a much better win rate now. Okay, you have a box that I really like. How many units is this? 29. It's not too much. I think 20 will be optimal, but trust me, I use only like 7 to 10 units. It's kind of insane. I kind of regret it. I think if I could give my main 7 to 10 units just the best runes, I think it will do so much better. So the team I recommend is actually, well, you have it on your first pick. So I'm gonna take out certain units and just show you what I use the most. So typically this is the team that I play with most of the time. Well, Sekhmet I just put in there because I did play with it a couple times, and I do see it being really strong just by the fact that Guardian players pull this out like almost every game. Certain Guardian players, it has to mean something, right? They have a draft, or they have a thought process on if Sekhmet takes first turn and resets a core unit on the opponent's side, the advantage is on your side. Because of that, although I don't use it as much, I do think it's a strong pick depending on what the opponent picks, and it is something that you should get accustomed to and also try to learn about, knowing that it's such a good unit. But my main 5 picks is, I think you could set the order. It's these 4, and for me the 5th is like a Kingi, right? I also want you to use Minato, or actually Camila should be a good one because Camila fits in your draft really well too. And if you have Minato, it'll be cool. Like these units here, down here, are really good as well. Plus the Minato, yeah. Yeah, okay, so more water damage dealers because you are missing some. And you could build upon this draft, but Minato is really strong right now. If you see an opportunity where a lot of fire is brought out, which is very common if you bring out Wedgeat, because Fire Monkey is just strong. Rakuni is just strong. Juno is a good counter against Wedgeat because of the strip. Sekhmet. There are a lot of these fire units that are brought into the draft, and Minato with the reset buff is just amazing. I have a lot of videos, well, not a lot, I have a lot of matches where Minato solo carried me, or at least, you know, brought so much disruption where it was able to carry the game. Suiki I just added in because Kinkis are very, very common as you start climbing and you want some kind of counter. If you bring out the Fang, it's gonna be at least one counter because Wind Panda Fang deals with Kinky very, very well. Reason why I like to draft it on my side when I have Kinky, and I have Kinky most of the time. So what I like to do is do Wedgeat, Heigang Fang, or Wedgeat Sagar Fang. Well, actually, if you bring out Sagar, I wouldn't bring out Fang right away. You could even start off with Wedgeat Fang if you want to, if you really don't want to show it out. But I think being a lot of more first picks, I think Heigang is a good counter to that. So Wedgeat Heigang is pretty strong in my opinion. I just think Heigang is a good unit just by the fact the passive synergizes with Wedgeat really well. Wedgeat, you gain more attack bar for each buff you have, and then Heigang also has a passive which gives you attack bar if the opponent cleanses or if you cleanse, something like that, right? In that aspect. So it's a lot of just attack bar that you get, so you just gain more turns. And because of that, Fang being on the field, even not too fast, I run mine pretty fast. is like plus 140 to 150. Still not as fast as the other units that I play with, right? The control, which is like on plus 170, 180, and then wedge at 200. But with those buffs, with those passives, the Fang gets to move so much more. And with his skill 1 defense break and the fact that he hits so hard if he's on a decent build, I think it's just an awesome unit. Now the 5th pick, like I said, it could be like a Minato counter pick, a Camilla counter pick, a Fire Monkey counter pick. Miles pairs with this team really well. Wedge with so many buffs. Miles should be hitting like a truck. You can even put in more sustain if you want to, but just keep in mind that if you go Wedge hard hitting, you're lacking damage. So your last 2 needs to be like pretty hard damage dealers. And there's a good chance that they'll ban the 1 damage dealer, and then now you lack kind of damage, and you're hoping that your sustain, your turn cycling just outpaces the unit, which is totally valid. It could be a good playstyle, but there are ways to get around that. So just want to let you know, bringing out these 3 together, in my opinion, wasn't that great, at least for me. I will try this box. I will at least try, 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2 plus 1. I wouldn't go Fang if you pick out Sagar second pick. Instead, I'll probably go Miles, right? So you get more of the try element. You don't want to go too much one-sided element in the start, since it makes it a good scenario for the unit to counterpick fire units to deal with the draft that you have. My Fang was a lot faster than my other damage dealers, such as the Minato or the Kinky that I like to use a lot. Even my Fire Monkey or not Miles. Miles is fast. But Fang in general was faster than most. So if he moves first, the defense break is very crucial. And if he gets a proc, they're pretty much at half health at that point. Where Kinky, if you watch my video, is on a high attack build. Usually brings them down to like 10% health or actually kills them. Even same with the Minato, because you usually go on a very high damage build. If you want to make it efficient, I mean, I want to show you my Minato too, but usually Minatos are on decent damage builds, right? There are some that are on lower damage builds so that they could solo later on in the game, but mine is more on the damage side with a little less tankiness. It did fit my playstyle really well. Obviously, your Minato right now isn't scaled up, and a lot of these units aren't scaled up, so if there's anything here that's not fully scaled up or not close to fully scaled up, then I wouldn't use it. So Minato will definitely be out. Suiki will also be out for now. And you could bring out other units that you've had. I think certain units like Taeor is good. Probably Samath, Contest, Nana, Shizuka, Josephine. You can even have more on your side too if you want. But I think just by having Wedge at first pick, you're on the advantage against certain players because you have a unit that's fast paired with the speed lead that others don't. So I would take advantage of that. I've been running a lot of Wedge Hagen Chungpong for a while. It worked decently up to a certain point, but it could still work. It could still work. Yeah. That was it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Proximity, my advice to you overall is to farm R5. I think R5 is definitely the one. Same with, well, when I say R5, also the gems, the Rift Raid as well. I will just farm that non-stop until you get most of the good runes or decent runes or efficient runes that you have all across. If you guys want account reviews like this, please join my Patreon. If you guys want account improvement, please join my Discord and fill out the Google form. All the information is there. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.